We called this project Defence Against Loneliness because we're aware that loneliness and social isolation are really significant issues in our community.
What I've seen as a change from the previous fence is I'm seeing a lot more interaction between the families, the parents, and other members of the community.
I just think now the outside reflects the inside because it's gorgeous.
I'm Rosa, a Spanish-Australian visual artist. My practice is deeply rooted in the art of deep listening. The way spaces hold memory, the way people move through space. I was commissioned by Jika Community Centre to create artworks that were about the space and the way in which people interact through the space. And Defence Against Loneliness is a project about reimagining boundaries, not barriers. And the centre's old fence was just that, a fence, a hard edge. It kept things out.
Defencing, taking away a fence, is quite a radical act these days because everyone thinks that their security is tied up with fences and gates and locks. And so what I think we've demonstrated here is that when you take away a fence, you create community, you create welcome, and that's amazing. And it's belonging and community that actually make us feel at home and make us feel safe.
The project was about softening that line and creating something that reflected the way the community already used the space and the way that people naturally gravitated towards certain paths and openings.
I love how it's so welcoming now.
And it's piqued people's interest to see what's in it as well.
You can just walk straight in, and I think that's the most amazing part of it, that it's just so open now.
Jika Community Centre is for everybody, and by opening this up, we've created like a little piazza in West Garth.
My name's Paul. I'm with Singleton Moore Signs and SMS Laser Cutting, and we were fortunate enough to be invited onto the project by Rosa and Susan. For us, the sheet metal elements, given the sophisticated equipment that we have, is relatively simple. The challenge is always in and around the installation. So the installation itself has gone really smoothly, so really impressed with the way all the elements fitted in as they should. So again, not without challenges, but certainly nothing that wasn't too difficult to overcome.
Rosa engaged with community members in the most extraordinary way to actually listen deeply to what the community loved about Jika Community Centre and think about how that could be reflected in the artwork and in the place so that people felt even more connected to it.
The gate and the elements along Plant Street in effect offer the rhythm of the street, their patterns of movement, all of it informed. And then there's the sign. It's a marker. It's a layering of past and present. I'm listening to the people who use the space, and I understood how much the centre's identity really did matter and how much history it holds. So the sign became more than text. It carries traces of that history, drawings, symbols, and small details that tie the past to the present. And I love the idea that they cast shifting shadows that change with time, just like the space.
With every new piece of art, there's sort of new dimensions, new things that are reflected, and this sort of sense that it's really changing the face of Jika Community Centre and the way in which it presents to the neighbourhood and the community more broadly. Behind me, we have the frame for what will be an extraordinary new street library. We've had a street library for quite a long time. It's very, very well used.
The street library is a whole other kind of threshold. It's not just a box for books. It's made up of many small spaces.
There will be scope for all types of treasure to be put on this library to be shared with our community, and that's really exciting. Without a fence, I think Jika Community Centre is so much more welcoming. It's more open. We see people just cutting the corner and walking through the courtyard now, and I love that. An extraordinary number of people have actually stopped to say how nice the place looks and how much more inviting and how much more welcoming it is. And so it's those words, inviting and welcoming, that was what the whole project was about.
And I think that's what art in public space should do, not just be seen, but be lived with, moved through, a conversation between place, people, and time.